Humans of the cardboard, welcome back to Just Nuts, guys. Good morning. We're looking at a quick little news drop on Animation Chronicle, 2023. We get one more rank 8 monster added to the pool here. Really, interesting card, to be honest. It's actually just downright a pretty good card. It's only one card here. I think we only had like 5 cards left for Animation Chronicle, so it looks like they're just kind of sprinkling them down the line until they release this set in the OCG in the next couple weeks or so. So we'll get one here. We'll get 4 more. Hopefully there's a couple of interesting cards like this one, and I'll obviously bring you those as they come. But let's get into it. This is number 1, Infection Bug King. If you want to get a better look at him, here you go. He is kind of nasty looking, and he is a bug king, but he's somehow actually a fiend. Yes, he's a rank 8 dark fiend. He is finally your number 1. We know what our number 1 number monster is, which is funny. 3,000 attack, 2,500 defense. It takes any 2 or more level 8 monsters. That's cool. Very generic. You can only use the first and second effects of this card once per turn. If this card is Xyz summoned, you can look at your opponent's extra deck and send 1 card from it to the graveyard. I mean, that's pretty good. I don't know what else to say on that. That is just pretty good by itself. So yeah, that's a good first effect. Second effect, you can detach 1 material from this card, then target a card your opponent controls, destroy it. Then if it was a face-up monster, inflict damage to your opponent equal to half of its attack that it had on the field. And third effect, during your standby phase, you can attach 1 card from your opponent's graveyard to this card as material. So, all in all, a pretty good card. Now, I find that this card's utilities are pretty decent overall, but it feels like, when do I want to use this card? Because going second, the effect to do the extra deck send, not as good. Your opponent may have already done plays, already pulled most of their important extra deck cards out of the deck and built a board potentially, so that affect's more of a going first effect, but still not a bad effect, just seems a little bit mixed up here. The second effect is removal, which is clearly a going second effect, and it's pretty decent. I mean, it's a pop. It's a targeting pop, which is one of the weaker forms of removal in the game, but it is anything, and you have the potential to burn there. So he's 3,000. You could burn for a good 1,500 if you pop something big, and that's a lot of damage just by himself. And then third effect is also kind of nice, but it's also pretty slow because it's only during your standby phase. So again, not a particularly good effect going first, right? Because if it could attach during your opponent's standby, then we're talking, because now you're even talking about the potential of sending an Intis from your opponent's deck to the graveyard, extra to the graveyard. I don't know if you'd want to do that because they would just pop this guy, so maybe not. But if there was something that actually could get you value, it wouldn't even, that's terrible. You wouldn't even want to do that because it would still trigger for them. I guess the main thing here would just be if your opponent has a resource engrave, being able to take it from them in your standby phase does actively kind of take that resource away from them so they can't use it whenever they want. So that's probably, I don't expect this one to come up as much just because it's not timed, the most appropriately if you want it to be a really useful effect. But it could theoretically come up. I think all in all, it's a pretty decent card. I mean, listen, going first for an extra deck rip, depending on what the format looks like, especially if we're not in a Kashtira-esque format with Diablosis, which I know he's banned now, but when we were in that, you saw everybody playing 2 copies of all of their crazy, extra deck monsters that were most important, so they didn't just lose to Diablosis. Well, if we're not in a format like this, you could play a rogue deck with something like this, and now you're extra deck ripping one-off cards because people aren't building around something like Diablosis, and that can be insanely strong. So keep an eye on it. I think it's a pretty good generic rank 8 monster. Does it power creep all the other rank 8s out there? Probably not, but it definitely does have a niche, and it does add some cool utility to the rank 8 pool that's out there. So keep an eye on it. Let me know your thoughts down below. One, on this card, how it generically lands for you, but also what decks do you think would maybe most want to try and toss this card in? I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on that. But I'm out of here for today, guys. Just a quick little news drop. Might have another video later, especially if anything else gets revealed, but I'll obviously bring that as it comes. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.